Hey guys, Brent Abernathy. Welcome to the Thursday new agent training call for the Gulf Coast team. Hope everybody's having a great day so far. Big dial day, obviously, for most of our agents, just like all Mondays and Thursdays are. So I want to get right to it. I got a special guest with me today, brand new agent, Ian Groves out of Texas. And Ian has really just run appointments for about a week. And had a good amount of success in that first week. Obviously, I'm sure went through some struggles that first week as well, a little bit of a learning curve, and but also had some success. And Ian's been super positive, super excited, super appreciative of the opportunity he has. And right now, he's playing baseball at Baylor University. It's a catcher, right, Ian? You're catcher.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. I definitely do know one thing, that if we get in a fight, we get in a brawl, I want you on my team because you definitely spend some time in a weight room. So
I appreciate it.
But anyway, I wanted to have Ian on because I know in this short amount of time, the attitude, the mindset, what he's doing is going to lead to success. And right now he's treating this thing as kind of a part-time thing because, he's got to be at baseball practice every single afternoon around 3 or 4, and then he's got games on the weekends. So he's running appointments in the morning, sometimes early afternoon, but mainly just trying to get out, help some families now because he knows this is the vehicle that he's going to use as soon as the baseball season's over. So, dude, I appreciate what you've done just in the short time, and I'm looking forward to growing this thing with you and helping you grow it.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about the first week. What did you, first of all, what's your overall experience, impressions? Because you're young, you're 22 years old. What's your overall experience, impressions of what you went through the first week? I know you've been paid on a few policies that you wrote already, so you see that this thing works, but kind of just tell me a little bit about what you experienced that first week.
Well, first and foremost, for anybody, I got crushed my first dial day. It was awful. Just stuttering on the phone a lot, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But as far as running the field, I felt super confident about it. I felt like I was able to talk to people really well. Nothing bad came of it. Got some policies out to people. Got stood up a couple times, but it happens.
Right.
But it was a really good experience for me. I learned a lot about policies, how to structure them for people depending on their situation. Just kind of trying to make ends meet for them. So it was really good for my first week.
Okay. And so on that note, you'll get better with all that stuff the more you get in front of people. And especially, I know you're doing a lot of the right things as far as calling Donnie from inside of homes, as far as once you find out their medications, their health, hey, what would be best to write them? And like, the more you do that, it'll come quickly. That's not a big deal. Talk a little bit about that first dial day. You said you got crushed. And what sort of changes, and I'm just being upfront, dude, a lot of people, now you're an athlete and a baseball player at that. So I know you get this, right? Like when we go on a baseball field, if we get 3 hits out of every 10 at bats, we're a freaking all-star. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And so we're used to not accepting failure, but we're used to failing and going and grabbing our bat and getting back up there and trying again the next time, and so I know you're never going to run from, lack of success or failing, but a lot of new agents, they get frustrated and they give up on themselves, right? When they have a day like that, especially early on. The reality is you ain't no good yet, and it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's okay. But talk a little bit about that first dial day and maybe some of the tweaks and changes that you made to start booking some more appointments and having a little bit more success.
Yeah. So I did mortgage protections. That's all I've been doing. And as far as the dialect I was using was just it didn't flow well. Nothing was good about it. So I kind of just tweaked it, made it my own a little bit. Tried to make it sound more like myself so I could say it more fluidly and not have to try and read it.
Right.
That was a big thing. Once I stopped reading it was when I started booking appointments.
Dude, that's huge. I mean, I got it early on. You feel like you want that crutch there, of the piece of paper, but it's like, as soon as you can make it about just yourself and just having a conversation with somebody, right? And knowing where you need that conversation to go.
Yeah.
That's the game changer. It's like when you're so scripted, now all of a sudden you sound like a telemarketer. You sound like a robot, and
yeah.
And now you're also, I know you said mortgage leads, but it's not just mortgage leads. Most of what you're dialing and have been dialing is older mortgage leads, like mortgage leads that have been around for 6 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years, whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what did you pick up? Because I know Donnie works those types of leads a lot, so I'm sure he helped you a little bit with that. But what did you pick up on dialing those types of leads that was more impactful and helpful for you to book more appointments and get a better result on the phone with those?
A lot of them said things like, I've either filled this out a long time ago. We decided not to have it. There was one that said they signed it with somebody else a few years ago, but they don't even know what they have. And I was just like, okay, like let's make sure you have what you need. And that was the first appointment I got. I was like, let's make sure you have what you need. Take me 5-10 minutes. I'll get in there, look at it, make sure you got it. If there's any updates I can get to you, I'll get them out to you.
There you go. Updates is a huge word.
Yeah. So they liked it when I said I could probably get it cheaper for them. So
yeah. So, and that's the thing about the older leads. They're slam dunks if we can book the appointments on the phone, because a lot of the people maybe have policies already, but they don't know what they have, or what they do have is maybe it's a 10-year term and they're 40. It's like, why would you want to be putting something like, do you think you're going to die by the time you're age 50? And they're going to say no. Yeah. Okay. That most people don't. Most people die in their 70s or 80s. Yeah, you could die tomorrow, but so why are you putting money into something that's not going to be there when you die? Wouldn't it make more sense to put that? So they're slam dunks if we can get into the homes on those, and that's awesome. Now I know you also, Donnie's told me this too, and I want to get to letting you ask some questions, but I think it's big. Talk a little bit about your mindset as far as following directions. And because again, I know you're a baseball player, and a lot of athletes, we work this way, right? It's like, if I'm the coach in the third base coaching box and you're at the plate and I go through the signs, right? And I put on the bunt play, the way our mind works is, okay, I just got to get the dadgum bunt, right? We just run the play that's called, right? We don't try and reinvent the wheel, so to speak. And, Donnie has told me that you've done a good job of not so much questioning things, but just running the play, And so talk a little bit about that mindset, because sometimes a lot of what we say might not make sense to a brand new agent. I get it.
It didn't. When Donnie was telling me things at first, like it really didn't make sense to me, but I knew that if I just said exactly what he said or did exactly what he said, it would work out. And it did. So it's kind of just, for me, it's just diving in, not knowing sometimes helps.
Right. Well, it almost all the time helps, especially with this, because it's like, I could sit here and talk to you all day long about what to expect inside the home, or some of the things people can say to you on the phone, or all the different products. I can talk to you until I'm blue in the face, right? But it's kind of like, if I were to try to describe to a person who's never stepped in the batter's box, if I were to try to describe to them what it's like standing in there facing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, I can't do it, right? Until they get in there and see it for themselves. And the cool thing about it is, and you know this, the first time you face a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, it feels like, oh my God, this is crazy. I got no chance, right? But if you face that 100-mile-an-hour fastball every single day, well, now it starts to slow down. Now it starts to look like it's 93, right, instead of 100. And that's the same way our business works, is the more you get in front of people, the better you're going to get, the slower everything starts slowing down at some point. But you've got to just jump in and go start creating activity, you know?
Yeah.
And so one thing that might not have made sense, I don't know if it did or not. Again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I know you've done one thing too, is you made a few sales in that first week. And I know that you have already reinvested some of that money that you made from those commissions back into leads. I think you've already purchased like 300 more leads to dial again. And that's something, and I'm speaking from my personal experience, a lot of new agents, they don't understand the reinvestment part, right, to grow the business. And talk, I mean, I don't know if it made sense to you right away or whatever, but like, was that scary for you? Did you understand that from the get-go, like the importance of that? What made you do that type of deal?
Yes. So I know that I was watching the call yesterday, and it was talking about, just kind of reinvesting into your business, stuff like that. And my mom owned a business for 14, 15 years, first her own business. And I always watched her have to reinvest in it, get better things for that business so it can run smoother. So I get it. I understand how it works. Was it scary? No, because, you have that money from the policies already. And if anything, you just double your chances of success, because I bought more leads than what I originally had. So it's definitely not scary, but it definitely helps.
Yeah. And I mean, here's the deal, dude. I mean, it's just like, I mean, I played in the major leagues for 3 years. And if you're a daggum high school senior, right? If I give you 300 at bats, right, 300 times to go to the plate, and if I only give myself 20 times to go to the plate, there's a real good chance, even though I might be more talented or even though I might have more experience or whatever, there's a real good chance you're going to get more hits. Even though you're not as good as I am, you're going to get more hits because you had 300 at bats, right?
Yep.
And that's one thing that a lot of newer agents, Ian, don't understand the importance of. And I go back to it. The reality of it is you're not good yet, and that's okay, but you're going to need more leads early on because you're not good than you will as time goes on. When you get good, well, you don't need as many leads to book 20 appointments a week or 30 appointments a week, right? But you can't nickel and dime it early on, especially because the most important thing is you just create activity like crazy and get in front of a bunch of people, because that's when your skill set gets better, and that's a huge key to success. And now the key for you is you got to keep doing it every single week, right? And just keep reinvesting, keep growing, your skill set, but your knowledge, but also keep growing that business bank account, right? So when you do get through this season and it's time to really rock and roll on this thing, dude, you're set and it's a piece of cake. Make sense?
Absolutely.
What sort of questions you got for me? It can be anything, dude. It can be in the home, on the phone, building a business, recruiting people, whatever. You got any questions for me about your specific situation?
Yeah, I got a few. As far as in the home, so this happened to me last week. I had a couple, only the wife was there. It was for her. She said the appointment went great. She's super interested. Said she wanted to talk to her husband about it. Said, okay, I'll give you a call in a few days. We'll talk about it. So I think it was like day before yesterday. I gave her a call. She's like, yeah, we still really haven't talked about it. Still super interested. And I was like, okay, I'll give you a call in a few days and we'll talk about it. Cause she's a nurse. She worked at night, something like that. And so they were doing that and they haven't really had a chance to talk about it. So like, how should I go about that?
All right. So two things. Number one, anytime you sit an appointment with only one spouse there, you're going to get that response. You ain't going to close it. You're just not going to. They're going to always say, let me talk to my spouse. Okay. So we need to have both people there to be able to close it. Because if we don't close and help these people out with insurance the first time we're there, what ends up happening is now they got all the information they need and they end up giving you the runarounds, from there on out. I mean, I can probably count on one hand the amount of people in 9 years that I sold insurance that I didn't close while I was there. And I actually got back with them afterwards to write a policy.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the first thing. But in that situation, with what she said to you, like I'll give you the example that you get more often than not is you sit with maybe a little bit older person and they might get down to it and they might say, yeah, I really like this, but I need to talk to my son or my daughter about it before I do anything. Right. And you kind of get bamboozled or sideswiped by that. Right. So what I would do is, number one, I'd be like, okay, let's call them on the phone right now while I'm here. Okay. If that doesn't work, I'm going to say, all right, so cool. You got to talk to them. So you probably you'll talk to them tonight or like tomorrow or something. I'm going to get them to say yes. Once they say yes, yeah, I'm going to talk to them tomorrow. I'm going to book an appointment right then and there with them. I'm going to be like, okay, got it. Today's Thursday. I'm going to be back out here Saturday morning. Okay. We'll get everything squared away. You will have already talked to them. We'll get everything squared away and locked down on Saturday. Sound good? Okay. So don't leave it up in the air is what I'm getting at. Okay.
Got it.
Walk them into, it's her husband, right? She's going to see her husband later on that day, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, whatever. So we got to walk them into committing to talking to him now instead of waiting and then just book that appointment right away. That makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What else you got?
Yeah, as far as like growing the business, recruiting people, how did you go about it? Like, what should I do for that?
All right. That's a great question. And dude, you're in a spot, and this was a big mistake I made when I was playing baseball. I didn't maintain relationships very well with the people I was playing with. Like I'd play, but in the off season, I'd go my own separate way. Right. And I didn't maintain those relationships after I got done with baseball. So you're in a spot where you're surrounded by a bunch of people that are your age, that are athletes, that understand they're competitive as heck, right? All of us are. Competitive is a good thing. It's one of the things I look for to grow a business is somebody competitive or not, right? They understand hard work and structure and discipline. And also they're, like I said earlier, they don't run from failure, right? And they like to be challenged. So to me, the easiest thing to do is, you've already sold, and we're not going to get into how much you've been paid or anything like that. But dude, you're around people all the time. It's like, man, I'm just kind of doing this thing part-time and I've already gotten paid X amount. You can talk to the guys on your team. You can talk to the guys you used to play with at your old school. You can talk to the people you went to high school with, right?
Yeah.
You young people, you got, I'm sure you're on social media, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. Exactly. So you have this big network of people that, you can talk to them, let them know. And then what I would do if I was you, especially if they're athletes, is, hey man, this is what's happened for me. I don't really even know what I'm doing yet, but this is how much I've gotten paid. I know there's a lot of people in this business that are helping 20, 30, 40 families a month and making way more money than this. If I could get you on the phone with somebody who's been in the business for 12 years, used to play professional baseball, spent 3 years in the big leagues, was on the Olympic gold medal winning team. If I could get you, he's one of the guys that helps me. If I could get you on the phone with him for a few minutes, is that something you'd be interested in doing? So, dude, you use me. Yeah. I mean, and that feels weird saying it as I'm hearing it. It feels weird, but use me because I know what I've been through as a former athlete, and I know how good this deal is, right? And I can explain it to them. And dude, we can get you a group of 50 or 100 agents going very, very quickly. But you got to share the opportunity. You got to share what you're doing. You got to be proud of what you're doing, right? Yeah. That was one thing I didn't get early on. You need to share it with everybody because I'm just telling you right now, if I had a group of 30, 40, 50 athletes your age, that's a group that we could get within a year, we could get to helping 1,000 families a month. And you do the math on that as far as, I mean, we can get there, but you got to use your contacts, your networking, and talk to everybody about what you're doing. And let me know how I can help. Let Donnie know how he can help. We'll get on the phone with people. We'll get them up and going. And then we'll help them, start helping families.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I know a few guys that I definitely want to talk to. So I'll be doing that soon.
And if you want to, dude, one of the easiest things to do also, if you know a few people already, if you want to set up a time with me or with Donnie, just to get everybody on a quick call together, just a conference call where we can kind of go through it once and maybe open it up, for questions or whatever, we'll absolutely do that for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. You got anything else before we wrap it up?
No, sir. I think I'm good.
Nothing? Okay. Well, listen, dude, I appreciate you. I know, and look, I will say one thing. I said earlier, one of the biggest things I look for early on with somebody is them being competitive, right? Because, I mean, if you don't want to win, if you're not driven to win, I can't really help you. I mean,
yeah.
But even more so than that, I appreciate how grateful you are at this point. And I know how appreciative you are. And that's something because unfortunately, dude, a lot of people think they're entitled, and that's just not the right way to go about it. I know if I've got somebody that's competitive and that is thankful and grateful and not expecting or entitled to certain things, I know it's somebody that we can help, and don't ever lose that. Continue to attack this thing just like you've attacked sports and like you've attacked baseball. It's not going to come to you. You got to get in the weight room. You got to get in the film room. You got to get in the cage and hit until your hands are bloodied. You got to get down in the bullpen and work with your pitchers and know what they like to, what pitch they like to throw in certain situations, what pitch is working for. Like, you got to put that work. You got to attack it. And dude, I know it's a little difficult right now, just piecing it together around your schedule, but keep at it. Stay in contact with Donnie, stay in contact with me. Let us know how we can help you. Let's get some other people going now. So once the season's over, boom, everybody's ready to hit the ground running. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Makes sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, my man. Well, listen, I look forward to working with you, moving forward and growing this thing with you. It's going to be something special as long as you work. Everybody has the same opportunity. And as long as you're working, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing to help families and help other agents out there, we'll do everything on our end. And it's going to be a crazy ride. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a crazy ride, but it's going to be a fun one. And it's going to be very beneficial for you over the next few years. So I look forward to it. All right, dude?
Yes, sir. No, I'm excited about it.
All right, my man. Well, listen, I appreciate you getting on and sharing with the new agents, and I appreciate your attitude, and look forward to seeing you continue to climb the leaderboards over the next few weeks. All right, bro?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, Ian. Have a good rest of the day, guys. Let us know how we can help. Get out there and create activity. No matter what it is, your skill set, I promise you will catch up if you create the activity like Ian has created this first week, and if you do it with the right attitude. So you guys have a good rest of the day. We will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.